By the way, thank you for using my creator code at checkout on the EA app or thesims.com. Your support goes a long way. Shout out to EA for making this possible. Hey, thanks for slithering in. Today we are working on a swamp mansion build in The Sims 4. In particular, really focusing in on more of the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack because we are here in the world of Innisgreen, which is the world that came with this pack. And I knew that I had to do a swampy build, especially when we had the Nature's Calling event and we were able to unlock that outhouse, which was very similar to like Shrek, you know what I mean? So at least that's what it reminded me of anyway. Maybe I'm not the only one, let me know. Because this is a mansion build, we do have a pretty lengthy speed build today, so hopefully you guys are cozy, you have some snacks, or you're just chilling, maybe even falling asleep or something. I know sometimes I watch certain speed builders or any really certain Sims creators because it's just so calming sometimes. And if you're like me, sometimes I really need that background noise to go to sleep. I really try not to. There are some nights though, if you know what I mean, because it's rough sometimes. But anyway, we are working on the shape of the build. I really wanted it to be kind of Victorian esque feeling. I did have like a few reference pictures that I was looking at. I've actually been doing this thing where I take a couple of different reference pictures and pick certain features that I like and try and pull them together. Sometimes they're in the same realm. Like I had 3 or 4 Victorian mansion reference pictures when I was building this one. So I kind of like doing that, and I actually have a few that I might kind of keep doing that in the future. And for the most part, this is pretty much what the shape looks like. We're just going to add some maybe more bump outs, a wraparound porch, and we got the roofing going on. We also have a couple of different chimney stacks here. I use half walls usually to make these. We do have a lot of roof decoration pieces that make it actually smoke. I can't remember now if I have actually added those because sometimes I'll add them inside the half wall box and just kind of use it that way, but we'll see because it's been actually a minute since I've built this. I am mixing and matching roof patterns. This is something I have liked to do pretty recently, and we're using some of these mossy ones. I think this is from Werewolves. The other one might actually also be from Werewolves. It's either that or Horse Ranch. I am trying to get a good look at it as we're spinning around, but it's a little difficult. For our wallpaper, I use a mix of the brick from the Castle Estate kit. That brick is so good because it has like dirtier swatches and cleaner swatches, so you can kind of like combine them. And I mostly do that like on the chimney stacks. If you can see the one on the right there, it definitely gets dirtier as you go up. And then I believe I use some of the like two-door wallpaper. This one, the paneling from, I don't even think it's considered paneling. I think it's under the brick category, and I really liked using that one. I really felt like it brought out some of the fun two-door styling that I was trying to go with. And the Victorian builds that I was looking at kind of had these fun little patterns on them. And then I think for the rest of the wallpaper, I pretty much use the purple shingles from the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. I have not been able to use that purple in a while, and it's about time we have some good, decent purple something in the game. A lot of the purple swatches are just either too bright or just too harsh. I don't know. It's just very strange. I also really wanted this build to be covered in greenery on the roof, on the walls. So we definitely go around, and hopefully, if I remember, I think I cut a lot of it out because that was really the lengthiest part, I think, of building this house was not only just the landscaping, because this is a huge lot. This might be like a 50 by 40. I don't think it's not a 64 by 64 because those lots intimidate me so much. I rarely ever do this. For like example, I think when I sped up the footage, no, before I sped up the footage for this, it was like 3 hours long or something like that, some crazy amount. And now that I'm like watching this back and we're actually going to the back and you're seeing some of the adding of the ivy here is just kind of embarrassing. Oh, we jumped. So there we have it. We have all of our ivy and things. I even changed the windows up on the third floor there. I'm trying to count up. My boyfriend was so funny. He was like, it looks like a face. And at first I didn't see it because I was using some of the Enchanted by Nature windows. And I switched them out for these might be the industrial loft kit windows. There's a version in base game too, so if I'm mistaking that, my bad. So, oops. We Once he said that, actually, I just couldn't unsee it, and eventually I just had to change it, but I actually like those better. I have in that little octagonal piece, I'm using life and death windows, which I think looks so pretty. I kind of wanted some bits and pieces of this to look like the house was worn down, but on the interior, it's not too worn down. It looks definitely livable, is what I would say. But here we are trying to figure out what to do now with the landscaping. I knew I wanted this house to pretty much be on a pond to really like feel swampy, and I wanted a lot of debug items, so I'm pulling all of those out. I get this little debug like platform piece, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to imagine your Sims maybe walking out onto that and going fishing. I ended up putting like some seating over there and just some other kind of fishing clutter. It's not functional. I maybe could have made it functional if I tried with like a foundation piece or something, but I honestly didn't because I didn't want to mess up the rest of this. So I'm going to show you just some of the landscaping here so you can kind of get an idea of what we do. I think I cut out, or I absolutely hope I cut out most of it because it took me forever. I have been building this one for a couple of weeks, pretty much. It was it's really funny. These large builds like this really take a lot for me, especially because let me give you a little glimpse of my life, okay? I work obviously 5 days a week. I work full-time hours, sometimes more. It's like I'm in a managerial role at work, so it's really expected. It's in my job description that I have to work 40 to 60 hours a week, really depending on what is going on that week and stuff. And so I don't have a lot of time sometimes during the weekdays to build or play Sims or anything. I try to get like 2 to 3 hours a night in when I can and when I'm feeling up for it, because some days just take a lot out of me and we can't do it. But also, there's like one day a week I pretty much make sure I don't play anything or work on any content, because that's when I prioritize a lot of chores and cleaning and getting the garbage ready for garbage day and those kinds of things. But I digress. That's a little bit of a glimpse of my life. Saturday also, it's like the day I do all of my errands and things. So I don't know if you want my full diary here, but here we are anyway. So Sundays are usually my full days. But this week in particular, and this is why you guys rock because you were so patient with me, this video's coming out a day late than I would usually put a video out because I'm just getting off a 6-day work week. It was just one of those things. We had an event on Saturday, and I've been with this company for many years and we do this event all the time. And I was like, you know what? I should probably volunteer for this. I should probably check it off my bucket list for the company. And it was fun. It was good, but very tiring. So it's a good thing we are skipping over the rest of that landscaping. And I am going to stop talking about my life. And a little bit more about that landscaping, though, is I use pretty much almost all debug items from Enchanted by Nature. So, and then a few from like Get Together and probably Horse Ranch because I like a lot of those items too. But it was really mostly Enchanted by Nature. Here, we are working on what I believe would be the living room. This is a pretty large living room, so I decided to break up this spot here with a platform, and I was like, this could be some kind of skill building platform maybe. It ends up being an apothecary station, so I get the apothecary table up here. We have a nice little seating. It was really hard to fill up the space in this build because there was just so much room. And especially this living room, it was the hardest. And that's why I pretty much did it first before I did any other room, because I just needed to make sure I knew where I was going with this build. So we lean into a lot of purples and greens. I loved using these curtains. These curtains are from the storybook nursery kit. Sorry for that word stumble. I don't feel like stopping and redoing it because this is such a long voiceover already. So we're gonna roll with the punches here, okay? So I got the curtains here, and that really set the tone, I think, for my color scheme in here. Also, I have this mossy stone fireplace, which I end up using the matching wallpaper for that on this back wall, where I right now have like this wooden, I don't know what you want to call it, like wooden brick kind of texture. That is also an unlockable from the Nature's Calling event, and then this other wood paneling is from the Book Nook kit. What's really annoying sometimes is when my foundation changes, especially when I put like a new room down, like the platform. It is so hard, and I think we just zoomed kind of crazy. I closed my eyes for a second and I was in a tree, so I'm sorry about that. We are laying out the living room. I get a couple of different mixed match furniture. I thought that was kind of a fun vibe. So we have the purple couch here, which is from Enchanted by Nature. That like yellowish greenish one is from Basement Treasures, and these little two armchairs with the draped over blanket. Some of my favorite chairs, by the way. I absolutely love using them so much. And maybe it's because I also have furniture that is just covered in blankets because I have pets, okay? And I don't have time to be like steam cleaning my furniture all the time with all the fur, okay? So I really love how realistic those are. But those are from Horse Ranch, in case you are wondering. The bookshelf over here is from Life and Death. That becomes a pretty common item or pack I use throughout here. So maybe now's a good time to mention I did not limit any of my pack usage for this build. I think that would have been really difficult for me, especially because of how large this build is. So I'm sorry, but it is what it is, I guess. It is up on the gallery if you guys are interested in checking it out, though. The gallery will actually show you which packs I use for a build, so make sure you go and check it out if you're curious, and in case I miss anything, too. On the coffee table here, I just put a random decor clutter. I really was like brain empty, no thoughts kind of moment where I was like, just grab random stuff. Maybe this is a dumping ground. I was trying to think of what kind of sim family might live here, because obviously they live on a swamp, but they have this large house, which I assume they have maybe some money. Or maybe it was a home that was passed down through generations and everyone just kind of just stays here and raises their family as they go. That could be actually fun to think of because we literally have space in here for every single life stage for The Sims. If you really think about it, you can make it happen, right? So I didn't like the little tiny archways, and I ended up opening up those rooms and hallways with columns and spandrels to kind of make the floor plan flow a little better. I also decided to make a custom little chandelier over the coffee table, that's the word, with a lot of different lighting pieces from Journey to Batu. So, as I said again, not limiting my pack usage. Literally everything was at my disposal. Here, I'm trying to use like that cookbook stand to kind of make it look like maybe you have music notes leaning against the piano. But I was like, no, actually, I don't like that. So we put a piano here, and I'm cluttering the top of it up with some more items that I just kind of pulled out of the catalog because I was just scrolling through. So I actually really like this. I also talked over the little divider I put here, which I actually really love. That is from the Cozy Bistro kit, and I used to kind of separate the office from this little living space. Well, maybe it's not like per se an office, but it's like a workstation. Maybe it's the family computer or something. It looks pretty much like a workstation though, even though I have another like office space. Like there's a couple of other desks around, but we'll get to that later. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves right now. What else is in this living room? Oh, I put a nursery bag here because I was like, obviously I was already planning on having space for like young Sims too, so I wanted to put those little touches around. So I put like this little carrying or transportable crib, that's the word. Please forgive me. Okay, I'm getting there. So I thought that was really fun. So maybe while your Sim is working out here, maybe doing their apothecary or something, like your little infant child could be in that crib. I also end up changing the lighting in this room and throughout the whole house to kind of a green tinted lighting. So that was really fun to kind of play with too. So when you see that, you're not like, whoa, what happened? I really thought it made the swampy feel a little more swampy. Here we are decorating the first floor bathroom. This is the only bathroom I decorate on camera, but every other bathroom is pretty much exactly the same as this, maybe just slightly different, except for I think I'm lying. I think I'm lying. There is an ensuite bathroom upstairs, and I think I kept that one in because it's a bigger bathroom, and I was really excited to use the new corner tub we got. My game just crashed. Did you see that? That was crazy. I can't believe I didn't edit it out. And now that I'm speaking over it, I'm just gonna keep it in. So my bad. Anyway, we are cluttering up this bathroom, and like I said, I'm just gonna copy and paste this throughout the rest of this place. There are at least four bathrooms, I think. Yeah, there's one on this floor, three on the middle floor, and on the top floor, like the third attic floor, I'm calling it, there's another one. So there are a total of four, and technically there are five bedrooms. Yes, there are four, and then one at the very top. So, yes, five bathrooms. I'm sorry, I'm just counting as I go here. So, you have a lot of space for Sims, right? Here, I knew I wanted it to be the dining space because I knew this back room was going to be like a large kitchen, and then this was going to be like where you have maybe company over, you host big dinner parties. First, I thought about putting the dining table here, but then I was like, this room is actually really big. It's almost as big as the living space. So instead, I put the bar over here, which was really exciting because I haven't been able to use that bar yet from Enchanted by Nature. So I really like how it looks here. And I decided to put the dining table in the middle of the room. But what I end up doing, because now I'm just picking swatches, I don't even think I keep these chairs. We'll figure it out. Maybe Life and Death stays. I'm trying to think. That hutch back there is Life and Death. But I eventually delete some of these chairs here and put a second table and merge them together to make it look like a really like grand big table because there is a lot of space. I think I also end up getting a grand piano out here too, so you have two pianos technically in this build. I was really trying hard not to repeat things and items and skill building things, but it's gonna happen in a house this big, so I'm sorry. Here we get some seating behind the bar, which is, I don't know, kind of fun. I just didn't know what else to put up against those windows. Ultimately, I really like how it turned out. We even get a lot more greenery over here, and I think this would be really fun to hang out and just maybe hire a bartender. I end up getting a record player over here too in a different corner. I'm also lining this hutch with some lighting. These are from the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. I haven't used them in quite this way before, but I actually really like how it came out. I'm just kind of lowering it. Do I leave it lowered? I might. I also put these like dried flowers and plants over the doorway. Maybe that's like a good luck charm or something. I thought that was really fun. So here we are trying to figure out what to do with the rest of the space. I thought about putting a like little couch here from Dream Home Decorator, but cut that out. And this is when I'm gonna double up our table. This is when I was like, oh, I need some more purple. So I looked for purple chairs. So we're doing that, and we are going to fix this table up and make that. Maybe I'm just talking because I'm lying to you guys again. I'm so sorry. I'm just getting ahead of myself. Let's switch gears for just a quick second. Do you guys remember the last roadmap we got? It's been a minute, so I forgot myself. It wasn't until someone else posted. It was like, hey, it's August now. And on the roadmap, there was some big base game update that we should be expecting August 19th, I believe. So let me know in the comments below what you think it might be. It could be anything, right? I think it could be anything. So I'm really excited. Maybe they'll be announcing that pretty soon because when you see this, we're getting pretty close to that date by the time this video comes out. Here is another little seating area that I end up getting rid of, which is kind of a shame because it's kind of cute, right? But I think that's where I end up putting the grand piano because I think it took up more space and I have a lot of seating around. But I digress. Okay, we were talking about a base game update later this month. I can't believe it's August. I can't believe it's mid-August already. And as I say that, I'm looking at my Sims calendar posted and I'm still on July, so I'm gonna have to change that. Although I'm really excited for fall, guys. I really am because as we speak, where I live, we're going through another heat wave of like just a stretch of 4 to 5 days where it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit plus. Like it's completely ridiculous. I'm tired of melting and I just can't wait for sweater weather. Here I'm removing that little seating area and now we are finally doubling up the dining table as I promised. I do it this way at first. Do I switch it back or maybe do I keep it? I might actually keep it like this. I think I like that flow a little better in the room. And I feel like at this point now we've been on this dining room forever, so I apologize. Here's the grand piano, and I think after that, that's pretty much the build here. We just get some more wall art and stuff from Life and Death, and I think, I don't know, some wall decor or a hutch or an end table. I don't quite remember. We'll find out. Actually, I end up getting this statue like pedestal from the Refined Living kit. And I end up getting not this vampire statue, although I really love that and that would look really cool later on, but the scale, which I thought was interesting. I don't think I've ever used that item once in my life. Now, onto the kitchen. This one was tricky. The shape is very strange. It's in very odd shape for a kitchen, honestly. I end up changing the tile because I was like, maybe it's not really fitting the vibe of the house because the wood is kind of worn throughout like the wood flooring. So I was like, you know what, let's try this stone. I think this stone is from vampires and I'm using these cabinets and counters from, I think that's from For Rent. I absolutely love it and I match it with these green appliances to kind of, play into more of that swampy feel. And I'm just kidding, the cabinets I use are actually from Enchanted by Nature. That's also something I like to do with my kitchen sometimes because a lot of times we don't have matching counters and cabinets. They've been doing better with that, honestly. Let's not talk about what pack. I can't even remember what pack. Was it Jungle Adventure that doesn't have the matching? No, I think they have cabinets. If you guys remember which one it is, let me know because there's a pack that doesn't have matching cabinets to their counters. So let me know in the comments down below and put me out of my misery, please. So I end up using this platform space over here as kind of like a breakfast nook. It's probably not super functional. It just looks cute and breaks up the space a little better because otherwise I didn't know what else to do. So the kitchen here has a nice little like U shape of cabinets and stuff, and we have our appliances. We get a small little table kind of for like an Eden kitchen look. So I think that looks really cute. And then I double up these hutches and I am going to end up cluttering that up with a ton of different kitchen clutter, which I think ended up looking really cool. There's like sometimes a method to my madness here. And I don't know, sometimes it's just like, just grab anything and put it there and figure it out later. Here is the little breakfast nook, which I thought about using this bench, but I ultimately do not use it. And I think instead I get a round table. One of the round tables I actually tried to use in the original idea for the dining room. So we'll see that. I think it's from Jungle Adventure. And then we pair it with what kind of chairs. I think I keep these from Enchanted by Nature. I end up putting that bench outside and I don't remember if I leave the outside much on camera, so I'm not going to talk about it yet, just in case we go out there, okay? I won't get ahead of myself here. I loved bringing in the mossy stone over here to add a little more color into the room. I think it definitely brightened it up, even though I also end up changing the lighting color to a green tone as well. In general, I would say this was probably the most challenging room, which is very interesting for me to say because usually it's the kitchens that come pretty easy for me, or at least they usually tend to set the tone. Oftentimes, it's the first room I work on, and somehow we are back outside. Oh, I think I'm working on this little greenhouse room. even though I'm not technically really using it as a greenhouse. Just kidding, we moved on to declutter. I am all over the place with this build, guys. I am so sorry. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying it a little bit and listening to me ramble, because where are we? We're about 25 minutes in. We got a little bit of a ways to go. But this is what I meant by just grabbing anything I could think of to clutter up this space. And then I end up just alt placing items. We've got a lot of stuff from Journey to Batu. We have a lot of the new items from the kitchen clutter kit. A lot of stuff from Cool Kitchen, I think we have in here. And I see that statue from Paranormal. We get some greenery and plants up here from multiple different packs too. It was really fun. I think I had a blast cluttering this up. You guys know me. I love a good clutter moment. And I find them really fun to do. And I just think they look really cool. I mean, my own home is pretty cluttered. I try to keep it somewhat organized, but ultimately, I don't know. I'm looking around at my desk and it's not very organized right now. I need to kind of clean up a little bit. I have notebooks and books just kind of around. I literally have a couple of quarters on the desk here too. It's crazy. Oh well. But here we are adding more clutter to the kitchen. A lot more of my favorite items, like the paper towel holder. That little bread box from Parenthood is definitely an item that makes an appearance a lot. We have the coffee and tea holder over there in the other corner. This little storage box from For Rent. More clutter from the kitchen clutter kit. These cutting boards from Cool Kitchen stuff. Now it's just me here rattling off which packs I use. So, sorry. I fought the urge to use even more clutter because I knew I needed to have some space free for your Sims to be able to prep some food. So that is a wrap for the kitchen. And now we are actually in this greenhouse-esque activity room, I'm calling it. Maybe skill building room. There are a couple of planters here that you can use if you want to do some gardening under a roof. I think I even put some out on the wraparound porch too, so if you need that, there's there too. But otherwise I'm using a lot of things from the artist studio kit. The woodworking bench here is from the Nature's Calling event, and then on this side of the dividers I put the crystal making activity bench, workbench table thing, and an art easel in here. So there's a few different things you can do in here, which I think was really fun. This house is actually full of different skill building items, and I even put some more garden pots out here. There's not much of a backyard. Your backyard is literally a swamp, so a lot of the outdoor activities is on the wraparound porch, but I really liked kind of this little piece of land that kind of juts out into the pond a little bit. I felt like that was pretty natural. And then here is what I was talking about, using a lot of debug items to kind of decorate this spot that is you can't get to. You just can't. But I thought it was cute anyway, because otherwise it would look pretty empty. So just imagine your Sim sitting out there fishing. That would be fun. Out here, we end up putting a grill. I think I get another dining table as well. And out here is actually where I use the Dream Home Decorator modular sofa things to make a seating area, which I thought would be pretty cute. But also, can we talk about these two little acorn guys being used as the centerpiece on this table? Those are like nightlights, and they are so cute. And I love pairing them together into two different swatches. I just thought that was such a cute touch. Oh, I get a hot tub out here. I never put hot tubs in my builds, so this was really exciting. I was like, I have a ton of space out here. I usually don't have a ton of space like that, so I was like, why not? Why not add a hot tub? I always forget about adding those for my Sims, and it's such a great piece of furniture for your fun, for relaxation, for woohoo, all of the above, so I need to use those more often. And then I also get some of these mushroom stools, which I thought was super cute, and I think the final touch might be some fairy lights along the place as well. And for the most part, this is pretty much the outdoor space where your Sims can just hang out on a nice day. I mean, you are on a swamp, so you might have some issues with mosquitoes. Speaking of which, I did put a lot of those around as well. mosquitoes and lightning bugs. And I think there is a crocodile somewhere in this pond as well. I think I show you the crocodile during the playtesting later in this video, so stay tuned for that. Now, we are working on this room that is directly off of the living space, and I want to shout out all of you amazing people on Instagram if you follow me over there. Thank you for participating. I put a little reel up right before I started building this, pretty much asking for suggestions of what to do with this room because I had no idea. I was stumped. So I got a lot of good responses. Some were like a library, a cozy like little reading nook, or a little bedroom or a bathroom, or all of these like amazing skill building rooms and stuff. But I took a couple of comments and kind of combined them. I have a little nectar making area here on the platform, which I thought was so fun. I never used this in any of my builds either, so very exciting to add it to here. And on the opposite side is a laundry room. How cool. How very cool. Which I think is very convenient for nectar making. As you can see, I have like this little dresser hutch here from, I think that came from Horse Ranch. And I actually end up putting some like towels, clutter, some clothes on the railings up there too. And I imagine that you probably would want to change before you go back into the house, because when you're doing nectar making, you are literally in there, you are stomping around, you are getting filthy. So I thought this was a good place, like maybe you wipe yourself down, change your clothes, and then stick everything in the washer right away. I did think of a fizzing station because someone else thought about that as well. So maybe next time I'll have to do a fizzing station room. But I really think this is probably one of my favorite rooms in here, at least as far as like activity room goes, because it was just so creative and I loved the combination. Like I would not have thought of that on my own. So again, thank you so much, and I hope to do more things like that because that was so fun. So maybe on future builds I'm working on and I have nothing like, or I have no idea what to do with a room, look out for that because I might ask you guys for help again so soon. Anyway, we are now up in our very first bedroom. This one would be like the main bedroom, at least I imagine. It's the biggest room, so this one was also a bit of a struggle for a little bit. But my goal for the bedrooms were to use like wallpapers that maybe I don't use as often. And at some point I was thinking of this maybe being like in every occult kind of build where each room was a different occult. I kind of do that a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily have to be for an occult. So this room, for example, I use a lot of items from vampires. The wallpaper is from vampires and this bed is from vampires. I'm pairing it with a lot of items from Life and Death as well, which I thought was super fun. And it looks really cozy in here, at least I would say. I would definitely love to be in this room. We're getting some wall art. And I don't know, I imagine the sim just loves the luxurious life, but loves being on the swamp. I don't know, it's a very interesting combo building a swamp mansion, honestly. Like, I was like, what would Shrek's house look like if he was rich? Like, filthy rich. I don't think Shrek would live here, to be fair. I really don't think so. But that was like my prompt, at least when I first started this build. In this corner though, we have a little mirror. I was actually looking at it. I was like, wow, that could be a good Cass create a sim background. Like, maybe. I wouldn't know how to even do that, but I thought that might be like kind of cute. At least that's what it made me think of. So I thought that was super fun. Over here is another little office space. We have, I think these bookcases are from, are they from Strangerville? They might be. I don't remember. But anyway, I'm using them for this backdrop, and I have this, I think this desk is from Season, and then we are just kind of cluttering up the area a little bit with like things that might look like you would find in an office. We get some wall art. Eventually I find something that I like. I might actually keep these. I don't know. I really liked kind of the different pack usage I use here and kind of trying to make some more of the traditional like items. mixed with some maybe modern-esque items like the wall art and things, so it was super fun to do. I added some clutter on the bookcase. And then I'm so sorry for the up and down jumping. I should probably cut that out too. We'll see, but now I'm talking about it, so I'm probably going to keep it in. So, it was very weird. Like, when you do landscaping on a lot with like pond and a lot of terrain tools and stuff, you have like a lot of jerking up and down, so I'm very sorry. I really tried to get it together. In this corner though, I end up getting a fireplace, one of the newer fireplaces. This one from, no, I get the circular one from Businesses and Hobbies. I really liked using that. I haven't used it yet. And we get this sofa. I think that was from the Bella Goth kit. What is it called? Secret Sanctuary. I thought it was really cute. I also used this like little end table slash coffee table from the Oasis kit. I was like the Oasis Courtyard kit. That's what it's called. I haven't used that kit in a very long time, and I'm actually thinking about maybe doing a build around that soon. So I think that would be fun. That's a really good kit. I end up getting a raven from Life and Death over here. I thought about a cat tree, but I didn't like how it matched the vibe. I just didn't think it fit well in here. So I thought that was super fun. I've never put a raven on their balcony because they have a balcony. I end up putting a telescope, I think, out there and just a bench. And now that we moved on to this room, I'm starting to think I didn't record that bathroom during the speed build. So that bathroom was super cool, and you'll have to wait and see it in the playtesting because we used a new corner tub from Enchanted by Nature. Now this room can fit an infant and a toddler sim. This side of the room is pretty much the infant side. I use a lot of items from the Storybook Nursery kit, and I wanted to use this new crib from Enchanted by Nature, and I put the little freezer bunny with the fairy wings in there. He's so cute. I love it. It should be functional. I think it is. I didn't play test it, so if it's not working, you might have to get rid of that freezer bunny or move it somewhere else. We also get a changing table. Right now it's in this white and gold swatch, but I end up switching it to a darker swatch because even though I liked it, I just didn't feel like it was working very well with the rest of the items in here. So unless I do the more brown swatch, because I have this high school years dresser here too, which I thought was super fun. And yeah, we're just cluttering it up now with more items. I get this little canopy and size it up a little bit with the tool mod because I think I'm still using medium wall heights on this. It looks medium to me. Hopefully it's not tall, but you know, whatever. You'll figure it out, I guess, if you download it. Anyway, so yeah, we're just organizing it a little bit. On the opposite side of the room, I end up putting another platform piece, and that's where the toddler is. That side is a little more simpler. I just get a toddler bed, and I think I end up getting a dollhouse. That's what I end up getting. And I use a half wall to kind of help separate it, but I really wanted to use this cute little swatch with the acorns. And that bed is also from Enchanted by Nature, so it's really cute. I loved pairing Enchanted by Nature with this Life and Death wallpaper. I thought it was super cute. And there's my little acorn, little nightlight buddy again, and on the side we get the dollhouse. But that's pretty much this room. I think maybe I get a couple of wall art and pictures up on the wall, but for the most part, this is what it is. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the bedroom so far. We have a couple of more to do. We actually have 3 more, so hang in there. Have you finished your snack? Or did you get another one? Or let me know what else you're working on, because I know oftentimes if I'm not using speed builds to fall asleep, I'm using them to watch while I'm building. So, are you building? What are you working on? Tell me. I want to know. Anyway, in this next room, I imagine this to be more of maybe like a teenager room or like very young adult room. I really wanted to use this swatch of the rug from Enchanted by Nature with the dragon on it. I love that swatch so much. If you guys have been around recently, I have talked about it a couple of times. I am obsessed with the Empyrean series, which is the Fourth Wing books. I love it, and it's all about dragons and matching with dragons and fighting and riding dragons and a little romanticy here and there too, if you're into that. So I've been completely obsessed with that, so I really wanted to use this rug. I just love dragons. I end up getting the dragon stuffed animal too in here, which was fun, but I use a lot of Realm of Magic. So this is where, if you guys are keeping track, I did say I was thinking of, at one point, every room being a different occult. So this is where I was like, maybe this could be the Realm of Magic room, the spellcaster room, kind of. I really liked really leaning into the blues and purples in here, and using this artwork from Lovestruck was so fun in here. I was just like, this is a vibe, and I actually end up getting the Touch of Starlight wall decor and just put it all over throughout this room. You'll see that in just a little bit. But here is another room that has an actual desk. They do not have a computer like the other two. Do I put the flower press thing here, or do I put the apothecary travel kit? We'll see in a little bit. Okay, where was I? I had to pause for a quick second because there was some cat drama behind me. I am kind of babysitting, fostering-esque, taking care of my boyfriend's family member's cat because they don't get along with one of their dogs right now, and my dog is so good with her, but my elder cat not so much, and they just kind of got a little close to each other. They don't really do too much, but there's a lot of growling and hissing involved, and I'm just like, hold on, let's separate for a minute because tension is a little high, and my girl's tired. She is 17 now, I think. 17, going on 18. She's an old girl. All she does is eat and sleep. Where this cat we are taking care of right now is like 1 or 2 years old. Very young, very active. When we first started taking care of her, and I know I'm going off tangent here, but it was kind of funny because I was like, oh, I forgot what it's like to have such a young cat. I really did. I was like, oh my god. It's so crazy because it's been like 18 years or 17 years because we got my older cat when she was about a year old. So yeah, I've had her for a very long time. She's been with me through a lot. Here we are working on another bedroom, and I knew I was going to put like 2 Sims in here, like 2 beds. So I was trying to figure out the platform thing, but ultimately I decided, you know what, I'm not even going to do that. Nope, not going to do it. So here I imagine maybe 2 child Sims or 2 teenager Sims. I think it can be pretty interchangeable. And I really leaned into the reds because a lot of the other rooms, like the first room, I really leaned into the blacks and the tans. The second room was like the greens and the tans, and then we had the purples and blues here. So now I'm like trying to play around with the reds, and we have this paranormal wallpaper. No, Crystal Creations wallpaper. Just kidding. Which I thought was really pretty, and it was really fun. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. The young cat just got into trouble and got into the closet in this room and knocked down a couple of baskets. So I am so sorry if you heard that. See, what was I saying? I totally forgot what it was like to have a young cat. Such troublemakers. That must be where the saying curiosity killed the cat comes from, because they're definitely very curious and really into trying to get into spaces they probably shouldn't be. So she jumps on top of my bookshelf in the living room, and it's a pretty tall bookshelf. It's like, oh, maybe it's like a 7-foot bookshelf. At least 6 feet. I know my measurements. I'm really bad at it. Anyway, let me get back to the build. Here we are kind of, oh, this is where I'm adding the little dragon. But anyway, back to this child teen room. I figured this teen or sim on this side is probably more of an artsy sim. I know I have like an art easel around in the downstairs and like art clutter downstairs too. So it's like one of these sims has to be into art, right? So I deemed it this sim over here because I give them their own art easel. I also decided to separate the space with this divider from the refined living room kit. I really like the wood tone here. I thought it worked very well. Now the sim on this side I imagined is the musical sim. As you know, there's a couple pianos in this build, and now there is a guitar up here. I figured this sim, maybe one of like the other sims, like if there's a parent sim or grandparent sim, maybe they kind of bestowed these skills down to their Sims, like the music and artists and stuff. So I don't know that, but that's up to anyone who wants to play in this build and build that little lore. But I imagine the sim over here is maybe a little messier. So I put some like clutter on the floor, and they have these posters. So they're not really as into like the framed artwork, but they kind of like more of the chaos. And then this space was a little strange. I was like, what do I do here? So I thought maybe these Sims, despite their maybe a little difference in personalities, maybe they like to play games together. Maybe they're like best friends. Because, you know, opposites attract a lot. So I put this little card table. I think you can do puzzles and maybe Don't Wake the Llama here, perhaps. I don't know. I didn't really test it per se, but it's just another activity in this build, and who doesn't love more activities for your Sims to do? Up here, the final floor, the third floor, which is what I'm also calling the attic floor. I use the Dream Home Decorator couches again to kind of make this little library area. So kind of bouncing off of more of those comment suggestions from earlier over on my Instagram page. I definitely wanted to include a library, and I put the little dragon again up here. I thought that was so cute. And yeah, we just get a lot of greenery. Up here, I think I also get a fireplace, and we just get a rug. I think this rug is that from the Comfy Gamer kit? It might be. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And a lot of Book Nook clutter, because that is such a good kit. Especially, well, obviously it's called Book Nook clutter, so I was gonna say especially for book clutter, like obviously. I used the Life and Death fireplace here, and I think I end up sizing it down, which it still works size down. The flame might be a little off, but for the most part it works. And then I get this picture frame from Life and Death that will show you, I think it's from Life and Death actually, that'll basically put a picture of your Sim household up there. So really cool. Anyway, up here I wanted to play around with more of the Enchanted by Nature bedroom feel, and so this is a fairy themed bedroom where I lean into the purples and pinks. I use these curtains, which I don't think I've ever used, at least not in this swatch. And for the life of me, right now I can't remember if they're from Vintage Glamour or one of those other packs, like stuff packs maybe. I'm so sorry, that's embarrassing. Anyway, we get some Horse Ranch dressers out here, and we have a rug down here also from Enchanted by Nature. But this is pretty much the last bedroom, and we're gonna get, what else do we get in here? As far as an activity, we get a desk, and this is where I put the flower pressing notebook. And then they even get a chess table in here just to kind of fill up some more space as well. So I thought that was really fun. And I think that's about it, because we're going to keep kind of jumping up and down a little bit, and I'm sorry. On this wall, oh, this is the only room with a TV in it. That's what's also special about this room. So kind of weird, actually. I didn't even think about putting a TV anywhere else, but we put it here, and it's the framed artwork TV, so it's even prettier. Haha. Anyway, this has pretty much been the speed build portion of this build. We are wrapping up this room, and in a little bit we are going to hop into live mode so that we can play test this. I am just gonna get some gallery wall art, and we're gonna pull out that chess table. And at this point now, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm kind of just talking just to talk, because I'm looking at my little timeline at the bottom here and trying to get to that point where we're gonna transition. So I probably started a little early, my bad. Anyway, I will see you guys in just a hot minute. And here is our swamp mansion in live mode. We have the Michelson family again helping us out. But as you can see in live mode, we have this full swamp. You can see that in some spots of the swamp, we have like these little mosquitoes flying around. I felt like that was such a realistic touch, and honestly, so on theme for summer. Oh, yeah, you can like small talk. Anyway, mosquitoes so on theme for the summer. I have been getting bit like crazy. And over on this side, we have our little crocodile friend. Look, he's so cute. I need to put more crocodiles in my ponds and builds and things. I just think that's such a cute little touch, especially on a swamp build. And in the back, of course, we have this little outdoor space with some planters and stuff that I'm not too worried about playtesting at this point. We have a grill, our dining table, some seating, a hot tub. I feel like I don't put enough hot tubs in builds, and even another couple of planters here too. This little debug item is not functional, so you cannot get down to this chair at all. It's just purely for decoration. And here's an overview of the floor plan. We have like this nice little entryway. We have our bathroom right in front here. Over here, a bar area, a large dining space, our piano, this little activity room, a kitchen, dining, living space, and activity space, I guess. And of course, our laundry / nectar making room. On the second floor, we have 4 bedrooms in total. We have our main bedroom here with their ensuite bathroom. We have a bathroom off the hallway. Well, actually 2 bathrooms off the hallway. And we have a toddler nursery over here, a double shared bedroom here, and then this bedroom over here as well that can fit another 2 Sims. And the final space, the 3rd floor, we have a little library space, just some little cozy little reading nook, and a bathroom up here and another bedroom. Okay, we're not going to do too much playtesting because then I think we would be here forever, but we do have this beautiful living room with some activities. Like we have a desk area here. We even have like a diaper bag down here. Oh, we got level 3 of parenting skill. Beautiful. I really like using these dividers to kind of split up the space a little bit, to kind of separate it from the living and like this office area. We also have another piano, the stand-up piano here. We have the apothecary station here, and this is actually what I would like to make sure maybe works. So we'll get our sim over here. And we have a bunch of clutter and a bunch of seating. I like the green lighting. It really adds to like the swampy, mossy feel. And a bunch of just random clutter on this table. I feel like this is like the dumping ground for the family. And look at that. Our little apothecary section works perfectly. Beautiful. Spinning around a little bit, you can kind of see the entrance here. We have just like this portable like infant playpen crib area, whatever you want to call it, a little stuffed animal as well. And this room might be one of my favorites. This is the nectar making / laundry room that my Instagram friends helped me decide on. So I asked for some help of what to do with this room, and this is what we came up with. I really like using this like dresser chest, I think that's from Horse Ranch, and kind of making it like you're not gonna stay in the same clothes after your nectar making, you know, so you kind of gotta wash up a little bit. So I thought that was fun. And when you turn around, we have some laundry as well. When we come this way, we have our large kitchen, again with the green lighting, very mossy, swampy feel. We already have our sim eating here, so we know we can get into the fridge, which is great. I'm going to set our sink type here to kitchen, make sure that's good. But yeah, we got a little bit of clutter, but still plenty of space. I used these 2 hutches from Life and Death and cluttered them up quite a bit with a ton of different items. We've got things from Journey to Batu, Paranormal, kitchen clutter, Enchanted by Nature, Life and Death, and the Comfy Gamer Kit. There's just a ton of things that I felt like looked good on this hutch. And up on this platform, because I was playing with platforms a little bit, we have this breakfast nook, which I think is really cute. I don't necessarily care how much of this is functional. You probably can't get to a couple of these chairs, and I think that's okay because you have all of these chairs on the island and a large dining area. Speaking of the large dining area, here we are. Not sure if this is a great place for kids to kind of hang out and play around because we have a whole bar here, but you know what, that's okay. I'm really glad I was able to make this bar work because I haven't been able to use it in any builds yet so far, so this was really fun. I liked pairing it with these Life and Death windows where there's some like broken panes, and it just looks really cool, especially with that view. That just looks really good. Now this is another one of my favorite rooms that I can't wait to explore with you guys a little bit. We use these dividers again to kind of break things up. So we have the crystal jewelry designer table over here that you can use. We have this like storage shelf or whatever from the artist studio kit, an art easel that you can use, some more storage here, some planters. And on this side, we have the reclaimed woodworking bench that came with the Nature's Calling event, and some more artist studio items. And I think this little end table is from the Greenhouse Haven kit, and a little sink and things. I just like this room so much. Who made a mess? Oh my goodness. Let's clean that up before we get this on the gallery. I'm going to peek into this bathroom for just a quick second. All bathrooms pretty much look the same. I did like a copy and paste thing, and depending on the size of the space we had, I either rearranged things or added or removed some things. So, but ultimately, these are the items we use in every bathroom. It's just pretty basic, but it has everything you need. The ensuite bathroom, however, would be the one difference where I used a lot of the sleek bathroom kit. We made our own little walk-in shower over here, which I think was nice, and I'm covering up some of the tile stuff with this piece. I think this is from either Vintage Glamour or Vampires, this towel holder or towel rack. Then we used a corner tub here from Enchanted by Nature with some clutter and wall art. This is part of our main bedroom where we have this nice little office space with some large bookshelves. In this corner we have this little cozy spot with a lounge chair or a lounge couch and a chair. And over here we have this vampire's bed, and really pairing it with some of the newer packs was actually really fun to work on. And this is the only bedroom with a balcony, so nothing too special out here, just a bench and a telescope. Already we have someone destroyed our dollhouse here, such a bummer, but we have our toddler sleeping in her little room. This is super cute. This one's up on a platform, which I think was super fun to play with as well. I'm glad the roofs didn't give me such a hard time here. Opposite of that, we have the infant little nursery area here, pairing a lot of things from Enchanted by Nature with the storybook nursery kit, and even some things from high school years, which I think was a weird combination, but I think it works pretty well here. And of course, the life and death wallpaper with the ravens on it, so good. Across the hall we have this other bedroom for two either child or teen Sims. The Book Nook kit clutter came in clutch here. I figured this side of the room was for more of an artsy Sim. I added another art easel over here, and someone's sleeping over in this room. Oh my god. But this is the other side of the room where maybe the Sim is more of a musician or into music a little bit. Christopher is here already sleeping, so getting some good shut-eye in here. But what I also did in this room was put this card table, so you can do symbols or puzzles, I think, on here. Don't Wake the Llama, cards, all of that. So I think that was super fun because they can do a little activity together. Now this room might actually be my favorite. I have been dying to use this rug from the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack in this swatch with the dragon on it. And I loved pairing it with Realm of Magic here and all of the touch of starlight, stars on the wall. But even having things as new as like the Love Struck frame here with like the neon sign, I thought that was a nice touch. We have Penny the Pendragon over here hanging out. And I have a little desk area as well here. Maybe this is the Sim who is into crystal creations and jewelry design and stuff. And finally, here is our little study or library area where you can just come, hang out, read a book, get all cozy. We have another dragon up here, which I think was cute. A ton of bookshelves here, but some book clutter as well, and a rocking chair. We do have a fireplace here as well, so that's nice. And our family portrait. Look how cute! But finally, we have this more fairy-esque bedroom here, which we already have Sim sleeping in the bed. How adorable. I love the pinks and purples in here, especially like these curtains. I don't think I've ever used them before. We also have a chess table in here just to kind of fill the space and have another activity for our Sims. This room is actually the only room with a TV. I loved using this frame TV up here. So cute. We also have the Flower Press book over here as well. And Horse Ranch came in clutch over here too. Well, that has been our swampy mansion build today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a longer one, so thanks for sticking with us. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. subscribing, and commenting down below, all of the fun things. But especially thanks to my channel members for supporting me in that way. You guys rock. Until the next one, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye!